California Congressman Adam Schiff is the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. He is urging Chairman Devin Nunes to reschedule the open hearing with former acting Attorney General Sally Yates. Congressman Schiff joins us from Washington. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
Do you have any evidence that the White House urged and took part in denying the opportunity for Sally Yates to testify?
I don't have any particular evidence. The timing certainly raises a lot of questions, and the fact that the hearing was canceled abruptly and without an explanation, caused us a lot to ask, what's going on here? Why aren't we going forward with this hearing? I have to think that, the hearing that we had on Monday of last week, in which the FBI director acknowledged for the first time that the Trump campaign associates were under investigation for possible coordination with Russia, and the fact that the directors rebutted the White House claims about illegal wiretapping by Barack Obama, had something to do with the cancellation of the second open hearing. I think the White House probably felt that didn't go well for them, but it's otherwise hard to explain why the sudden cancellation of the hearing, and I think it probably had a lot to do with Sally Yates.
Do you believe that the White House is cooperating with the chairman and therefore robbing this committee of credibility?
Well, I think there is a close relationship that the chairman has to the White House. He was an important member of the transition team, and I think he's maintained that relationship with the White House. And that has caused a lot of questions to be raised about whether he can fairly and impartially lead this investigation. The events of last week, I think, called that so seriously into question that he really ought to recuse himself, in particular if he's raising an issue about whether members of the transition team were incidentally collected. He was a member of that team, and I think there's a real conflict of interest. So I think it would be in the best interest of the investigation going forward if somewhere else on the committee were to lead it. But we really need to get this back on track, and I think the majority can start out by rescheduling this hearing. We've urged them to do that, but we've yet to hear back.
Congressman, let's talk about the substance, about perhaps what you wanted to hear from Sally Yates. She was the acting Attorney General. She informed the White House counsel that their National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, had made comments that were perhaps untruthful. What did you want to hear directly from her?
Well, I certainly wanted to hear the events that led up to Michael Flynn's firing. And what has concerned me about this for some time is, according to newspaper accounts, she brought information to the White House that indicated that Mike Flynn had lied about a conversation he had with the Russian ambassador. And not just about any topic. This was on the subject, apparently, at least according to reports, of the sanctions that President Obama imposed on Russia over Russia's interference in the election to help Donald Trump. So that's obviously a very significant conversation. It led to his firing when he misled the vice president, and the vice president misled the country. But you have a period of some time, it looks like weeks, in which the president was aware that Michael Flynn had lied and the vice president had misrepresented the country, misrepresented the events to the country, and the president did nothing about it.
Do you think the White House counsel didn't inform the president of that conversation with the acting Attorney General?
I would certainly like to know. I have to expect that the White House counsel did inform the president. And the question is, why didn't the president act? Why was the president content to have the country misled about this secret conversation and only took action with Mr. Flynn after it was brought out in public by the Washington Post? That suggests that the real crime here was the publication of Mr. Flynn's lie, not the fact that the country was misled. And I think those facts were facts the White House did not want to come out in this open hearing. The timing certainly raised a lot of questions about whether the White House preference had a lot to do with changing where this investigation was headed.
Well, Congressman Schiff, thank you. We're out of time, but we do have more questions for you, so we hope you'll return in the future.
Sure.